Qiao Zhou, the grand astrologer of Shu, was skilled in astronomy and divination. When he learned that Zhuge Liang was preparing for yet another northern expedition, he advised Emperor Liu Shan against it. He pointed to strange omens. Countless birds falling dead into the Han River, unusual celestial movements favoring Wei, and eerie sounds coming from cypress trees around Chengdu. These signs all suggest disaster, Qiao Zhou warned. The state should remain on the defensive rather than launch another campaign. Zhuge Liang replied firmly, "I was entrusted by the late emperor with restoring the Han dynasty. How can I abandon that duty because of mysterious omens?" He then visited Liu Bei's temple and offered sacrifices. With tears in his eyes, he prayed, "I have marched to Mount Qi 5 times and have yet to recover even an inch of lost territory. My failures weigh heavily upon me. Now I lead another campaign. I will devote every last ounce of strength to destroying the usurpers and restoring the Central Plains. I shall work until my final breath." After bidding farewell to Liu Shan, Zhuge Liang returned to Hanzhong and gathered his commanders. Before the campaign could begin, tragic news arrived. Guanxing had died of illness. Zhuge Liang was devastated. He wept bitterly and even collapsed from grief. When he recovered, he sighed. A loyal and righteous man like him was not granted a long life. With his passing, Shu loses another great general. Soon afterward, Zhuge Liang mobilized 340,000 troops and advanced in 5 separate columns. Jiang Wei and Wei Yan were appointed as vanguard commanders, while Li Hui was ordered to prepare supply lines through Xie Valley. Meanwhile, Wei had adopted the era named Qinglong. Emperor Chao Rui received reports that Zhuge Liang was once again leading a massive army toward Mount Qi. Alarmed, he summoned Sima Yi. Sima Yi answered confidently, "The fortunes of the Central Plains are strong, while Shu's strength is fading. Zhuge Liang is challenging heaven itself. This campaign will destroy him." He requested command of the defense and recommended several sons of Xiahou Yuan for important military positions. Before Sima Yi departed, Chao Rui secretly instructed him, "Remain behind your fortifications. Do not seek battle. If Zhuge Liang retreats, it is likely a trap. Wait until his supplies are exhausted, then strike." Following these orders, Sima Yi led 400,000 troops to the Wei River, constructed 9 floating bridges, stationed strong forces on both banks, and built defensive fortifications. When Guohuai and Sun Li warned that Shu might seize Beiyuan and cut off western communications, Sima Yi immediately ordered them to occupy the region and defend it without attacking. At the same time, Zhuge Liang established numerous camps around Mount Qi and prepared for a prolonged campaign. After learning that Guohuai and Sun Li were defending Beiyuan, he devised a plan. He would pretend to attack Beiyuan while secretly crossing the Wei River. Hundreds of rafts loaded with bundles of straw were prepared. Under cover of darkness, they would be set ablaze and sent against Wei's floating bridges. Once the bridges were destroyed, Shu forces could attack from multiple directions and seize the southern bank. However, Sima Yi saw through the scheme. He correctly predicted that the attack on Beiyuan was merely a distraction, and that the real objective was the bridges. Accordingly, he prepared a series of ambushes. When the operation began, Wei Yan and Ma Dai attacked Beiyuan. Wu Ban and Wu Yi led the fire raft force, and Wang Ping with other generals targeted the Wei main camp. Everything went exactly as Sima Yi had hoped. Sun Li pretended to abandon his camp and retreat, luring Wei Yan deep into enemy territory. Then Sima Yi and Guohuai struck from 2 directions. The Shu army suffered a major defeat, and many soldiers drowned while trying to escape. The bridge-burning force was intercepted by Zhang Hu and Yu Qin, whose archers devastated the rafts. Wu Ban was killed by an arrow and fell into the river. Meanwhile, Wang Ping and Zhang Enai learned that both operations had already failed. While attempting to withdraw, they were ambushed and barely escaped after fierce fighting. The battle cost Shu more than 10,000 casualties. Returning to camp, Zhuge Liang was deeply troubled. Around this time, Fei Yi arrived from Chengdu. Zhuge Liang entrusted him with a letter to Eastern Wu, requesting military cooperation. When Fei Yi reached Jianye, Sun Quan received the message enthusiastically. He declared that he had long intended to launch a northern campaign and announced the mobilization of 300,000 troops. Lu Sun and Zhuge Jin would attack Xiangyang. Sun Shao and Zhang Qing would attack Huaiyang. 3 armies would advance simultaneously. During a banquet, Sun Quan suddenly asked, "Who is Zhuge Liang's most trusted general now?" "Wei Yan," replied Fei Yi. Sun Quan shook his head. "He is brave, but his character worries me. If Zhuge Liang is no longer there to restrain him, he may become a serious threat." When Fei Yi later repeated these words, Zhuge Liang sighed. "Sun Quan truly understands people. I am aware of Wei Yan's flaws, yet his military talents are too valuable for me to discard." Not long afterward, a Wei officer named Zheng Wen surrendered to Shu. He claimed that Sima Yi had treated him unfairly and that he wished to defect. At that moment, Qin Lang arrived outside the camp to issue a challenge. Zheng Wen volunteered to fight. After only a brief exchange, he returned with his opponent's head and claimed victory. To everyone's surprise, Zhuge Liang immediately ordered his execution. Zheng Wen cried out in shock. Zhuge Liang coldly replied, "I know Qin Lang personally. The man you killed was not him. You are a spy sent by Sima Yi." Seeing that his deception had been exposed, Zheng Wen confessed. Rather than killing him immediately, Zhuge Liang forced him to write a letter that would lure Sima Yi into a night raid. The letter was delivered to Wei territory. After carefully examining it, Sima Yi accepted it as genuine and prepared an attack. His eldest son Sima Shi warned him. Trusting a single letter and personally entering enemy territory is too dangerous. Sima Yi agreed. Instead of leading the raid himself, he sent Qin Lang ahead with 10,000 troops while keeping the main army in reserve. Late that night, Qin Lang stormed into the Shu camp. It was empty. Only then did he realize he had been deceived. Torches suddenly lit up from every direction. Wang Ping, Zhang Enai, Ma Dai, Ma Zhong, and numerous hidden forces attacked simultaneously. Qin Lang was trapped. When Sima Yi advanced to rescue him, he was intercepted by Wei Yan and Jiang Wei. The Wei army suffered a crushing defeat, and Qin Lang was killed amid the chaos. For the first time in the campaign, Zhuge Liang successfully regained the initiative. Despite the setback, Sima Yi still refused to leave his fortified camps. While surveying the terrain, Zhuge Liang discovered a place called Shangfang Valley. The valley was shaped like a giant gourd, wide inside but narrow at the entrance. Delighted, Zhuge Liang believed it could one day be used against Sima Yi. He secretly ordered craftsmen led by Du Rui and Hu Zhong to construct large numbers of wooden oxen and flowing horses inside the valley. Ma Dai was assigned to guard the entrance and prevent outsiders from entering. Later, Yang Yi complained about the difficulty of transporting grain from Jiang'a. Zhuge Liang smiled. "I have already prepared a solution." He then revealed the designs for the wooden ox and flowing horse. The officers were amazed. Soon large numbers of these machines were produced. They carried supplies through mountains and difficult terrain with remarkable efficiency. Under Gao Xiang's supervision, Grain flowed steadily between Jiang'e and Mount Qi, ensuring that Shu's armies would never lack provisions. Sima Yi was shocked when he learned of this development. His entire strategy depended on exhausting Zhuge Liang's supplies. Now that the transportation problem had been solved, Shu could continue fighting indefinitely. Determined to learn the secret, Sima Yi sent Zhang Hu and Yu Chen to ambush a convoy. Several wooden oxen and flowing horses were captured and brought back for study. Wei craftsmen successfully copied them and produced more than 2,000 units. When Gao Xiang reported this to Zhuge Liang, the chancellor simply laughed. "I allowed them to steal the machines." Soon afterward, he launched another scheme. Wang Ping and his troops disguised themselves as Wei soldiers and infiltrated a supply convoy. At the right moment they struck, killed the escorts, and seized all the transport machines. Then they deliberately adjusted a hidden mechanism, causing the machines to stop moving. When Guo Huai arrived in pursuit, neither he nor his soldiers could make them move. At that exact moment, Wei Yan and Jiang Wei attacked from one side while Wang Ping struck from the other. Guo Huai's army collapsed. Afterward, the mechanism was reset, and the machines immediately began moving again. Then Zhang and I appeared with troops disguised as supernatural heavenly warriors. Their faces were painted like spirits, while fireworks and smoke filled the battlefield. The terrified Wei soldiers believed divine forces had descended from heaven and fled in panic. As Sima Yi rushed forward to restore order, he was ambushed by Liao Hua and Zhang Yi. The Wei army fell into chaos once again. Not only did Shu recover all the wooden oxen and flowing horses, but they also captured huge quantities of grain. Sima Yi found himself in an increasingly difficult position. Summary. This chapter focuses on the early stages of Zhuge Liang's 6th Northern Expedition and the continuing battle of wits between him and Sima Yi. The story begins with Qiao Zhou warning against the campaign based on ominous signs and celestial observations. Zhuge Liang, however, refuses to abandon the mission entrusted to him by Liu Bei. Even before the expedition fully begins, he suffers major setbacks, including the death of Guanxing and a costly defeat at Beiyuan. Despite these difficulties, Zhuge Liang quickly recovers through both diplomacy and strategy. He sends Fei Yi to secure cooperation from Eastern Wu, while simultaneously exposing Zhang Wen's false surrender and turning Sima Yi's own plot against him. The resulting ambush allows Shu to score an important victory over Qin Lang and Wei forces. The most significant development of the chapter is the creation of the wooden ox and flowing horse. These inventions solve Shu's chronic supply problems and allow prolonged military operations far from home. Although Wei successfully copies the devices, Zhuge Liang cleverly uses their own success against them, eventually recapturing both the machines and large quantities of grain. Throughout the chapter, the rivalry between Zhuge Liang and Sima Yi remains the central theme. Both commanders anticipate each other's moves and repeatedly exchange traps and counter-traps. Yet Zhuge Liang consistently stays one step ahead, gradually gaining strategic momentum. The mysterious Shangfang Valley and the wooden ox and flowing horse also foreshadow even greater plans that will unfold in later chapters. Knowledge notes. 1. The timing of Guanxing's death is uncertain and was not recorded as occurring during a northern expedition. In the novel, Zhuge Liang receives sudden news of Guanxing's death just before launching the campaign. Historically, the records of the Three Kingdoms merely states that Guanxing died at a relatively young age, without linking his death to this specific expedition. 2. Sun Quan did not launch a 300,000-man northern campaign simply because of Zhuge Liang's letter. The novel portrays Fei Yi's mission to Wu as an immediate success, prompting Sun Quan to mobilize 3 massive armies. Historically, while Xu and Wu remained allies, Sun Quan's military operations followed his own strategic objectives and were not triggered by a single letter from Zhuge Liang. 3. The entire Zhengwen surrender episode is fictional. There is no historical record of a Wei officer named Zhengwen defecting to Xu, nor of Zhuge Liang exposing a fake surrender in this manner. The episode appears to be a literary invention designed to highlight Zhuge Liang's intelligence. 4. Qin Lang did not die in this campaign. The novel describes Qin Lang being lured into an ambush and killed. Historical sources, including the records of the Three Kingdoms, contain no such account. In fact, Qin Lang continued serving in the Wei government and military afterward. 5. The wooden ox and flowing horse were real inventions, but the novel greatly exaggerates their capabilities. Historical records indicate that Zhuge Liang did develop transportation devices known as the wooden ox and flowing horse. However, the novel portrays them almost as self-moving mechanical animals capable of traversing mountains effortlessly. Modern scholars generally believe they were more likely improved wheelbarrows or specialized transport carts designed for mountainous logistics rather than autonomous mechanical beasts.